This video and many more are made possible by viewers like you. If you enjoyed, please consider liking, subscribing, and supporting via ko-fi.com/BrandonTate77.
This video is a little harder to set up than I thought it would be, but let's roll with it. Hey everybody, it's Brandon, and after having recently just crammed together 2 cover videos in the span of a week, and then also playing a show, I thought it would be a little more fun to take a step back and do something a little more low-key, easier to edit and put together, but still have a fun video to share with everybody. And, well, I think that is going to be fun, in that we're going to go through my entire band tee collection. I'm a firm believer that fashion is just as equally an important piece of putting a band together, and, well, all the shirts that I have here are core to that, and at least as far as it goes with the bands that they represent. We'll also tentatively title this part 1, just because I'm sure even after trying to comb through my closet multiple times over to make sure I got everything, I'm pretty sure there's still a few band tees that I own that I forgot. And of course, there's always the possibility of acquiring many new cool and fun band tees from shows, online sales, or what have you. And, well, we'll circle back on those when it comes time to make a part 2 on this series then. And of course, there's plenty of time and room to acquire many more fun band tees, maybe so much so that I might have to get a separate little stand-up closet rack for them. But once I do acquire those band tees, we'll look forward to making a part 2 and calling this a definitive series then. I will drop a timestamp down below, just in case you want to circle back and look at any of the band tees that I have featured in this video. Say if you want to see if you could go find it yourself, or if you just think it looks really cool. I also took the tedious time to go ahead and sort these all alphabetically, so that will make the timestamps a little nicer to look at as well. But enough intro riff-raff, let's get right into it. So starting off, this is the only band in here that starts with a number proper instead of a letter. We're gonna go with Three Teeth, the industrial metal band from California, who recently has collaborated with Mick Gordon on a couple new songs, but I really much like their work across the board, really. I definitely have not gotten the chance to see Three Teeth live yet, but I certainly hope to do so because their music is very awesome and really captures a new, good, solid wave of industrial metal sound. And of course, this particular band tee has a little barcode motif going on. If you look more into what Three Teeth talks about in their music, makes a lot of sense. And nothing on the back, so moving on. Audioslave is the first band with the letter in this video. I used to cover Audioslave pretty heavily on my channel in the very, very beginning back in 2016. I seem to have gotten away from that, but I probably need to go back, and there's just a lot of good Audioslave songs that are worth definitely covering. But when it came to Audioslave, I very much love what Audioslave did in its short run, the 3 albums that they put together as a supergroup. And I really enjoy those tunes, and again, I hope to come back and circle back on many of those. Some of them are going to be redo covers, some I have not covered before, but still, Audioslave's music holds up very well today. Okay, I guess this next one's not a tee proper, like a t-shirt, it's a long sleeve shirt, but this is for the Vancouver-based deathcore band Carcosa. This is actually the band of music YouTuber Andrew Baina, who I actually had the pleasure of meeting one time when he and the band came through tour, and I got to see them play live and see the songs that I have seen plenty times over in like YouTube covers and playthroughs of theirs actually perform live, and that was very interesting and very awesome. I do want to give a huge thanks to Andrew Baina just in general, because a lot of what I do on YouTube is very much modeled after what he does. So very grateful that I had a chance to see them out live and support what they do. So we do just have the word mark proper on the front. We do have a little bit of an arm sleeve pattern here. This was when their song Born to Lose had come out. And then we do have a design here on the back, which I think is very befitting of a deathcore band, something on the little grotesque side. That being said, I have gotten away with wearing this shirt to work plenty of times. Next we have CheVelle. Nothing real crazy going on here, just the word mark and band logo. Thankfully, I've gotten a chance to see CheVelle a couple of times live. Most recent was back in, it was either September or October of 2023. They were there with Loathe and 3 Days Grace. First time I did get to see CheVelle was at Rocklahoma 2021, which that was what put me onto CheVelle. And so I think it was immediately after I got back from that trip is when I went and got this shirt, because I was like, this band is cool. I hope at some point just to snag a few more CheVelle shirts, because I've really enjoyed listening to the band since I discovered them back in 2021. And of course, there'll be plenty more covers of theirs that I'll put up too. All right, next section is gonna be a little bit of a long one, but here we go with Deftones. Love Deftones. I'm not sure with the word mark on here if my washer or dryer has been finally eating it up, or if it just came looking like that. I don't recall, but hopefully I could still get some good wears out of this shirt before it totally goes or the letter mark goes totally toast. And we got a cool little geometric triangle eye pattern here. Triangles placed inside your mind. Next we have Deftones and the Diamond Eyes album. I think this is the one Deftones shirt that I've worn out in public that I've gotten the most comments on. Probably just because it's really obvious it's a Deftones shirt and the really cool owl from the album cover that's on here. I also really like the Diamond Eyes album because that was the market turn of when Deftones moved to 8-string guitars, so I always appreciate that album for that. Some people may recall I did try to start a long-term project related to the Diamond Eyes album where I am trying to cover every single song that is on that album. I've only gotten 4 songs in. Unfortunately, I kind of let that project fall by the wayside, but definitely I'll look to go ahead and try and revisit that just to make sure I stick to my commitment on that too. And I'm sure a Deftones shirt collection wouldn't be complete without the White Pony t-shirt. I think that's maybe just an obligatory shirt for every Deftones fan to have. But of course, White Pony was a fantastic album from front to back. So if you ever get someone pressing you to name 3 songs, if you're wearing a Deftones shirt, you could just pop off 3 songs from White Pony and I think you'll be fine. Next shirt I have here is for Eric Gales, the very cool blues guitarist, probably my favorite blues guitarist perhaps of my generation. He's also come through Denver at least once since I've been a fan of his, and I totally missed the show and I was really bummed about it. I hope at some point when, if and when Eric Gales decides to come back through Denver, I'm definitely gonna be there for the next show of his. And then we do have something on the back here, just a little good for something word mark. I have worn this shirt for like a couple shows that I played out at, and people have given me comments about it. They're like, of course, Eric Gales is awesome. So glad to see that other people recognize Eric Gales from that. A few weeks ago, at the time of this video going up, I did put up a cover of Garbage's first ever opening track, Super Vixen, and this was the shirt I wore for that. This was also the shirt I wore when they came to Loathe Pavilion here in Denver back in 2023. And that particular show from Garbage, I think, was one of the most heart-touching things I've ever seen in a live performance. It eventually came to be where it was like just downpouring hard rain at this Garbage show. And they played Only Happy When It Rains in this torrential downpour. And I think that was the first time I probably ugly cried at a show just because that was just beautiful to see. So I'm glad that my first experience ever seeing Garbage involves something so memorable such as that. That's probably one of my top 5, maybe even top 3 moments at a show where I got to see something like that. And the next shirt is a gray version of that kind of previous shirt. Band logo word mark, and then members of the band all lined up here. And then next shirt we have Halestorm. This is basically the image that's on the debut album of theirs where they've kind of got these, their heads in these clockwork steampunk bodies. Which was a cool album cover. Also, if you ever have the chance to see Halestorm live, I highly recommend it. Another band that's high on my list of bands I do want to very much see live is In This Moment. I would say there's very much kind of a butterfly effect sort of thing, hey, because there's a butterfly on here, but very much a butterfly effect sort of thing with me and In This Moment, where when I discovered their music, it was probably about 2015 or so, was when I really started getting into them. And then that kind of cascaded into me getting introduced into a lot of more modern metal bands, which is awesome, and I am very much thankful for In This Moment for being the gateway to that. But I'm also very much overdue to try and cover In This Moment again for a YouTube video, just as they've got plenty more songs that I have got on my ideas list, but things I just haven't gotten around to covering yet. So this should be a pretty recognizable face, Mr. Jimi Hendrix. That's my next band tee here. Looks like this one's starting to get eaten up a little bit, but hopefully again I'll still get a few more good wears out of it. My fun story kind of related to Jimi Hendrix music is Digitech for a while. They had this kind of Expression modular pedal that was kind of being an all-in-one pedal dedicated to Jimi Hendrix's sound. And I had that pedal and I used it for a long time, and I really wish I had held on to it. It was a really cool design pedal, but it was still a cool pedal and maybe would have been good to revisit on a retrospective of sorts. So looking at this next shirt, a lot of you probably are not going to recognize what this next band is. If not, that's totally okay. But if you do know, всем привет, друзья, я Brandon от USA. This shirt is for a rather important and historical rock band that existed in primarily Russia, but was important throughout all of Eastern Europe during the times of the Soviet Union, especially through the 80s up till its collapse in 1991. This is for the Russian rock band Kino. It was fronted by one Victor Tsoy, who unfortunately tragically passed away, and I still listen to a lot of Kino's music today. There was a time where I was actively playing this music with the Russian rock group here in Denver, Yanshiva. And I was shown the ways of Kino and Victor Tsoy and very much became a big fan. And so I spin a lot of those still on my iPod to this day. Спасибо, Victor and Kino. All right, next here I've got KoRn. Got a nice little splash pattern going on here, of course with KoRn's wordmark logo on there. Now while I have covered KoRn using this particular shirt, I've also started covering KoRn using a full Adidas tracksuit. I have a couple Adidas tracksuits in my closet, so if there's ever like a KoRn tribute project that starts to get legs, I've got the outfit ready to go for that. I just got to get the makeup going as well. But then as a backup, again, I'll still have the shirt as well. I know many people might look at this and be like, this has been like mostly rock and metal bands in your Bandsy collection so far. What's this? And of course, if you know me well enough, you know I am a massive, massive fan of Kylie Minogue. And if you're still very confused about who Kylie Minogue is, please go on YouTube and search up Kylie Minogue, Can't You Get Out of My Head. That'll probably ring a lot of bells for you. But no, I am like heavy into Kylie's music. So that'll be a tier list video for the ages when I get around to doing a full tier list video about Kylie Minogue's albums and ranking them. That's going to be a very long video, but I do have that on my things to do. I'm also very bummed because I tried my damnedest to try and get tickets to go see Kylie's Vegas residency little outing that she had from, it was about the November of 2023 through end of May. And it just happened to be that the tickets and price just blew up almost instantly because a lot of people were really wanting to go see that show. But I do need to make it abundantly clear, since this whole Vegas residency thing went down, Kylie has been actively planning a US tour, and I have made it abundantly clear to everybody that I know, I'm going to flood my house with tears of joy if Kylie's next US tour has any semblance of a Denver stop. I probably am willing to travel if there's no Denver stop, but if there is a Denver stop, oh boy, I'm going to be very happy if that happens. Okay, we're coming into probably what's going to be the longest section of this video. That is going to be for Lacuna Coil. Probably my favorite, if not one of my top 3 favorite bands of all time. This first one here is kind of a little bit obfuscated. Might show up, actually, it might show up better on the camera now while I'm looking at it here. It's just got the band wordmark logo, one of many wordmark logos that Lacuna Coil has used. Does this, oh, this has the Karma Code album on it. Of course, it has Lacuna Coil's little spiny, pointy logo that they've always used. But if we do want to talk about Lacuna Coil's Karma Code album, then here's this shirt that actually has the actual album image on it. When I first started getting into Lacuna Coil, one of the first albums that I was pointed to was Karma Code. So kind of cool to look back on that and have it on this particular shirt. We do have a back design where it's the band at that time. And then a cool little, I guess, inspirational message here, which I think sums up the genre of gothic metal, which Lacuna Coil is known for perfectly. Hope sees the invisible, achieves the impossible. If you look up, there are no limits. I love this band. Coming up next in Lacuna Coil, we got another wordmark and band lineup for the time deal. Nothing too much on the front there otherwise. And then coming onto the back, we do have the band, again, their little spiky logo. And this is for the Shallow Life album, which if we're going to talk about ranking Lacuna Coil albums, again, that'll be a tier list video for another day. I don't think Shallow Life gets enough credit. There's a lot of songs I really love off that album. And so kind of cool to have a shirt for it too. And then again, more Lacuna Coil, got a word mark here, some nice little edgy skulls to really show it's a metal band t-shirt. I got the spiky spine logo up top as well, and that very frontal skull. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. But then flip it around to the back and we've got the same logo design there as well. All right, this next one is probably my favorite of the Lacuna Coil band tees that I have. Not really so much a tee as it is a sports style jersey. This was for the 20th anniversary remix, reissue, remaster, whatever you want to call it, for the Comalies album. And for that, we do have a very cool little 20th anniversary marker here on the backside of the jersey. But I think what's also important to note of why this is my favorite piece of Lacuna Coil band shirt merch that I own is because I got it at the show where this happened. So thank you again, Andrea Ferro, for giving me perhaps one of my all-time favorite concert memories. I always look forward when someone recognizes Lacuna Coil and I can bring up that particular video clip to them. All right, here we go. L-I-M-P, Bizkit is right here. People in your house, put your hands in the air. As much as people will deride Limp Bizkit, I love Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit is fun. Definitely another band I hope to see live before they hang it up because, well, no one's getting older, so I think this is also becoming the list of bands that I do need to get back and circle and doing covers for. Been a long time since I've done anything Limp Bizkit related, and I don't think I've even covered anything for Limp Bizkit using guitar. A lot of my early videos were just Limp Bizkit bass covers, so I definitely need to come back and revisit the Bizkit and cover more of their songs too. If you go back and watch my video from a while ago about the history of the bass 6 instrument, you'll definitely recognize me wearing this shirt in the video. This is for Loathe. Of course, this is for the Roller Coaster of Emotions album for I let it in and it took everything. Ever since I did that video about the history of the basics and getting to cover Loathe for the first time using that style of instrument, I've definitely had one of those on my radar, something I would like to get a hold of and own, and then set it up, of course, for use with the Loathe tuning. That way I could cover more Loathe songs. There are a couple Loathe songs that I can get away with covering without using the really funky, long scale electric guitar tuning. But those covers, of course, will come up when I decide to get around to doing them. I totally forgot I had a Metallica t-shirt. I don't exactly remember where I got this. Knowing that Target and Walmart have a history of just doing like, you know, random band tees from time to time, I'm sure it came out of one of those spots. Though Metallica is not maybe regularly on my rotation of stuff I regularly listen to, still won't deny their importance of what they did for propelling the metal genre forward. I like juice. Finish your juice. Filtered vitamin substance. Anyway, so here's the Meshuggah t-shirt that I have. I think why I love Meshuggah so much in particular is I think I've gotten to a point where I've kind of plateaued with what I can all do on maybe like guitar, bass, what have you. And then I started listening to Meshuggah and I was like, I kind of want to be better than I am. To date, I've only covered Meshuggah once on my channel. That was for the song Demiurge. And surprisingly, Demiurge is probably one of the easiest Meshuggah songs you could pick to cover. But I have started taking a look at some other particular Meshuggah songs that I really like that I do want to cover in a YouTube video. It's just going to take a lot of time to get that all down before I go and even press record on them. Also, I very much want to go see Meshuggah live at some point. I have not gotten a chance to do that yet, but I will do that whenever that comes up. All right, kids, remember, there are two types of people: Nickelback fans and liars. Seriously, I don't get it. I don't get the Nickelback hate. I love them. Definitely want to go see them live at some point. And you best believe I have plenty more covers in store for Nickelback on my channel. Next Nickelback shirt I have is for the Dark Horse album specifically, which if you go look at some like characterizations of each Nickelback album, this was kind of the first album aside from Silver Side Up that got me familiar with Nickelback. Me as a kid should have not been listening to this album. It's all the same Nickelback goodness that I hope to go see live someday. Yay, we get another pink or pinkish shirt here. A nice little coffin. This is for the electronic duo Nightclub. A few months ago rather, I got to see them live when they were on tour again. I had missed them like 2 to 3 times prior, just because something had always come up when I had gotten tickets to see them, and then something happened the day of the show. And so when I did finally get to go see them, I was very excited because I waited several hours in the front of the little stage area where they were performing, because I was like, I really want to get up at close and see what they do. Mark Brooks is really cool with his little wizardry going on in the background there. With all the sounds that they've crafted. And honestly, for being a band that's just only 2 people, Emily Kavanaugh as their front woman really knows how to command a stage, so it was really great to see them out live. If I haven't put them up already here on the side, I'll show some live clips of when I got to go see them. And then we do have a quick little back design here, rather a statement in, a clear as cut statement here of rest in pink. I think you could see why with this whole studio that I have, why I agree with that. So next one is the latest band tee that I've gotten a hold of. This is for just simply Nirvana for the In Utero album. I honestly like to go to Ross every now and then and kind of pick through some, you know, weird cool stuff that might end up there. And this happened to be there in my size, so I was like, yeah, I'll take it. Next one here, this big giant fancy P. This is for Phantogram, another fun little electronic music duo. So before it was even planned that Sleep Token was going to come to Red Rocks, Phantogram had a show there, and that was almost my first Red Rocks show. I was literally sitting at work, ready to buy tickets and just drive straight to Red Rocks, not even go home that night and go see Phantogram, but just didn't happen that way. Again, very much high on my list of bands I do want to see live. And as someone who's trying to get better at backing vocals even then, one of Phantogram's songs from their 3rd album is a song that I use as my vocal warm-up, just because I like it that much. This next band should be no stranger to a lot of people. We've got The Police here. Of course, the little 3-piece British trio from England. Also, shout out to Message in a Bottle here in Denver, one of the longest running tribute bands that we've had in our area that plays the music of The Police. It's kind of regretful that maybe we won't see any live Police shows nowadays unless they do kind of more like one-off reunion things. I know they have done little one-offs, but at least in a modern sense, we do get to live through the music of The Police through a lot of what Sting does, or more recently anymore. Give us little orchestral renditions of popular Police songs, which is also very cool. And then the other Police shirt, or the Police shirt that I have, is for their 2nd album, Regatta de Blanc. Oh, and fun fact, the first song that I ever learned on bass guitar was Walking on the Moon, which came from this album, which surprising that I haven't gotten around to covering it yet, but I might have to do that sooner than later just because of how much that song is for me and getting started on my musical journey. Next shirt that I have here is for Portishead, another English-based group. What is it? Portishead has not released any music since 2008, but Beth Gibbons has made a number of guest appearances since then, and I think the world could really use some more Portishead music, even if it's just stuff or like stuff from the vault. The 3 studio albums that Portishead has under their credit is just a good body of work for just piloting, I don't know, maybe not piloting is a good word, or just jump-starting the trip-hop, down-tempo sort of music in a similar vein to like Massive Attack. If you're like me and listen to a lot of more like calm music to kind of come off of the adrenaline rush of playing live shows, Portishead is also a very good pick for that as well. Do I even need to explain this one? This particular band tee of Prince was given to me by my parents. I wasn't able to go on this trip, but they did make a trip up to Minneapolis and got to tour Paisley Park. Got to see all like the recording studios and like that Prince was using. And a pretty easy just word mark design here on the back. Now I think we've all seen some pretty wacky Walmart band tees in our time. But in terms of the best Walmart band tee I think of all time that exists out there is the Purple Rain Prince band tee that just has the album cover on it. I've seen numerous people that have worn this band tee. I'm like, yep, that's the Walmart band tee version, and I don't blame you for picking it there because it's just a cool t-shirt. Can't ever fault anyone who's going to show appreciation to such an amazing artist. Okay, hear me out on this next one. I kind of count this more as a band tee or music-related thing that I wear more than sports related, as this obviously would indicate. So this is a cool little jersey for Super Bowl 41. Obvious little back design here indicating as such. But the reason why I count this as a music thing is because this is the Super Bowl halftime show that Prince performed at, which in my opinion, and probably in the opinion of many others, is the single greatest Super Bowl halftime show of all time. That's not to say there haven't been, you know, good Super Bowl halftime shows ever since Prince did his. It's like an annual tradition for me now whenever there's a Super Bowl, whether I like the halftime show or not, that I go back and rewatch Prince's halftime show because thankfully there's HD video of it now on YouTube. And I was in like middle school at the time, and when Prince had his Super Bowl halftime show, I didn't know how to appreciate it as a kid, but thankfully now as an adult and with all the musical experience I've acquired since then, oh my goodness, I love this halftime show, and I go watch it annually. All right, getting deep into the letters now. Here we go with Queens of the Stone Age. Pretty basic shirt here, nothing wild going on. Kind of just got a band word mark and a weird little baby demon thing here on the side. There's also quite a few Quatsa t-shirts that I would get sideways looks at if I ever own them because they have some interesting art on them, to say the least. And then we've got the more kind of spacey. I've seen this one quite a bit. It's a common one, just kind of a spacey, out there vibe for Queens of the Stone Age. I definitely need more Quatsa shirts. I just need to buy the ones that aren't inappropriate to wear. Next here we've got Rammstein. Drop a comment if you think Papa Tater and I should start a Rammstein tribute because he can actually, he does speak very good German. I don't speak German at all, but at least I can appreciate Rammstein for what they are. But my father can also sing pretty decently, and we've always kind of gone back and forth and poking this idea of, should we do a Rammstein tribute here in Denver? I don't know, maybe. But if you think that's a good idea, you know what to say. This next shirt is good to go into because they're celebrating the 10-year anniversary of their debut album, Royal Blood. And of course, if you've hung around my YouTube page long enough, you know that I am in a Royal Blood tribute band here in Denver called Little Monster, where yes, I do replicate all the crazy effects and such that Mike Kerr uses. But I did do a whole video on that if you want to go dive into it further, because I don't want to put myself through mentally going through that again. That being said, Royal Blood is definitely in the group of probably like the tip top of my favorite bands of all time, just because of me getting to dive in and really get to play their music out live in a tribute sense. But for just being able to go out and do something different and experimental and still have a really cool, awesome career based off of it. All right, I think with the amount of times that I posted about this band, not just for covers, but doing a whole vlog about their Red Rocks show, I think it's no surprise that I have Sleep Token shirts. So kind of have two variations of the same shirt here. This is kind of like the Blood Moon version of the Take Me Back to Eden album cover. And then I have the more low-key, off-white, gray, black version of that. It's always interesting going to look at Sleep Token shirts because your wallet will start hurting if you very much love this band, because they always have some really cool designs, and they are even branching out into all sorts of different merch ideas beyond just like shirts. But that being said, the shirts that they're coming up with are still very awesome. I've worn both of these shirts to each Sleep Token show that I go to, so next time maybe they come here, I'll have another shirt to wear. Oh, yay, another band that I have not covered in a very long time, but still very much like. Type O negative. Rest in peace, Peter Steele. Your music was gloomy as hell, but also very awesome. I look forward to doing another Type O negative cover and just green filtering the video just to match the aesthetic. And then I do have another Type O negative shirt specifically for the October Rust album. I just hold the shirt up and I automatically hear the piano intro to Love You to Death play in my head. For all the guitar nerds out there, Kenny Hickey has a couple signature models from Schecter related to Type O negative that are floating out there now. Very beautiful guitars, and of course they're green to match everything that was green about Type O negative. And then we do have a back design, We Are the Vandals, with the full band up lined up there. And I put the last shirt on here upside down for some reason, but I have no idea what it is. Oh, I remember this one. This is for the Veer Union, another Canadian-based, or Vancouver rather, based rock group. I had a really fun show a few years ago. It was like on a Tuesday or Wednesday when they were on tour. And it was a very fun show, getting to play live ourselves, getting to see the Veer Union played live, talking with them about music after. Really cool guys to talk to, and really thankful that my first exposure to them was that through that particular show where I got to see them live while they were on tour. And definitely I got a lot of their tracks that I still listen to quite regularly. All right, I have successfully transferred one pile of shirts to the other side of the camera view. That's gonna do it for this video. Again, I hope everyone you enjoyed this is just a little bit more of a light scale thing to put together. But again, definitely, and as I get more band shirts and band tees and the like, I think what will be also important to do in the next video, I just didn't have time to do it for this one in terms of getting it out on time. I have quite a few hats related to various different bands that I'm a fan of, some of which you've probably seen in previous videos that I've worn. That might be a whole dedicated video of its own of just like hats, maybe not band tee or band related hats. I don't know, we'll see. But again, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.